So today I just want to welcome Connie Balsden to this interview with me because Connie has lost 75 pounds without being on a diet. And Connie will tell you herself that she has gained back the confidence that she didn't have for a while, and she has actually learned to love herself again. And so welcome, Connie. We're just so excited that you're doing this interview with us.
Thank you, Ruth, so much for asking me. It's
Yes.
my pleasure.
Thank you. So, let's start from the beginning and go back and find out, how did you find the WeighDown lifestyle?
I was desperately searching for some kind of weight plan because I had fallen and broken my wrist and I needed help in the shower. And I was kind of ashamed to even have my husband help, even though he's seen me many times. But I was desperate enough that I would even maybe try diet pills because Weight Watchers gave like you'd lose the weight, you gain it back. And when my daughter said, "No way, Mom, you can't do that," then all of a sudden across my Facebook feed come this WeighDown lifestyle. So I started looking into it and saw there was a 5-day free workshop. So I joined it. And after the 5 days, I was so in love with what I was hearing that I thought, well, I got to join the 10 or 11-day challenge. I think it was the 10-day challenge. So with a small fee, I joined that, and I could see, can't remember how much weight I lost right away, but probably 7-8 pounds. And that's all it took. I started already gaining my self-esteem back, and I loved Ruth and Casey. And I just thought, this is where I belong. I guess God put that on my feed for a reason. And here I am today, thrilled to have lost all the weight I need to. And I have totally gained my self-confidence back.
Well, that's so thrilling and exciting to hear you say, because confidence is something that so many women lack, especially when they're overweight. And when we do finally shed the pounds, it's like we gain this new person back.
That's right.
Yeah.
You aren't afraid to get up and walk in front of people anymore. Even my husband says when I go to the grocery store, I get out of the car, he usually doesn't go in, and I walk, he says, you can tell that you're proud of who you are again. And not that you shouldn't have been before, but he says that you walk with confidence.
Oh, that's such a great testimonial, just right back in itself. And I know that one of the phrases that Casey and I talk about a lot is treat your body like a temple, not a trash can. And I know that that statement there resonated with you quite well. And so what does that mean to you?
It means that I think about the foods I'm going to put in my body. It used to be when my husband would go out the door, oh, I had these bags of chocolate chips I just love. I could eat the whole bag in probably 5-6 hours. Nobody'd ever know I ate the whole bag. And then I started with this group, and you start talking about treating your body like the Lord's temple. And I'll tell you what, from the very first day, that really sat in my mind. And I never, ever touched those chocolate chips again. I have them in my basement in a Tupperware container, and I will not go there unless I'm baking these muffins for my son that I usually bake for him, or baking for the harvest crew or a spring crew or whatever. They can be in my house again, and I don't care. In fact, I looked at them the other day and I said, nope, my body's the Lord's temple. No garbage for me. And people say, well, how can you pass up that dessert? It's like, you know what? If I have one little taste of it, that's all I need. I don't need a whole piece. If I take like an eighth of a piece of something, I just want the taste of it. And you know what? It really doesn't taste as good as I thought it did. So I'm okay with that little taste, and I'm satisfied, and I don't need to eat that whole piece. And I'm not tempted if I go somewhere and all those goodies are sitting out. I'm not even tempted to go to that plate of goodies, just because I know my body is a temple of the Lord now.
Wow. Yeah, that really did resonate with you. And it's such a good phrase because we all want to treat our bodies well. And we know that all that sugar is not beneficial to our bodies. It actually harms our body. So you've just done so well. And it's really neat now that, you can look at that dessert or the chocolate chips and you're not tempted. You're just like, well, if I have a little taste, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So in this journey, how long did it take you to lose? Because you lost 75 pounds. Wowzer. That's amazing.
a lot of
how long did it take you to lose the 75 pounds? Because so many people today, they think it's going to be instant. And I know it wasn't instant.
No, it took me 9 months.
Mm,
My goal was to try to get that 75 pounds off by our 40th wedding anniversary, which was June 26th of this
right.
year. And so I set that goal because I want to weigh what I weighed 40 years ago when I married my husband. And guess what? I got there.
Woohoo!
Not that I had to be there, but it was a goal I set, and I think it's a good weight for me to be at because it's been easy to maintain. I've maintained it for about 2 months now.
Awesome. That's wonderful. So it took you 9 months. It wasn't instant,
Nope.
but you had wins. You had scale wins and non-scale victories, like we call them, non-scale victories, almost every 10-day cycle that we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And
can't
so,
remember how many inches overall I've lost, but it was a lot.
yeah, it is a lot because 75 pounds, if you go to the grocery store and lift up 7.5, 10-pound bags of potatoes, you can't even hold it.
I wouldn't be able to hold it.
No, and so that's really a great visual to just think, wow, that's what was on my body and it's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even working out in the garden now, you can stoop. You can, I mean, no matter what you do, your knees don't hurt. Nothing hurts. And you know, a lot of people say, well, when you walk, you have any pain? It's like, no, I don't have any pain anywhere. In fact, I strive to get at least 10,000 steps per day. And if I don't have it and it's cold outside, I'll walk in the house till I have 10,000. My husband will say, what are you trying to do? Wear out the carpet? It's like, no, I don't have my steps yet. I can't go to bed. So he laughs at me, but that is a goal I've set for myself, is to get my 10,000 plus steps in per day.
Yeah, and movement is so crucial to helping you lose the weight and to keep it off. So keep on with that journey. That's awesome. So what do you think it was like? What would you say helped you stay focused and helped you stay motivated throughout those 9 months? Because you never really, I'm going to say, fell off the wagon. You didn't do that. You just kept on being consistent.
I think trying to get on as many of the weekly meetings as I could. And if I wasn't able to get on them, I tried to watch the replay. They're not quite as effective to me as actually being on, but sometimes, you know, it's always over our supper hour, most of them.
Yes.
Hour, so it's harder for me. It gets too late for supper after, too early before. But I try to do what I can. But I do think the weight accountability calls and just listening to both you and Casey and Karen with her devotional, and when Margie was doing her exercise, I didn't always get to them, but you know, just all the classes that we have available to us. It's so different than any other weight loss plan I'd ever been on, like Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers, you go to the class and they tell everybody would be saying what they ate wrong. Well, you know what? Then you go out and somebody had eaten a whole bag of M&Ms. Well, what do? You go home, eat a whole bag of M&Ms, because that's all they talked about. Whereas here we motivate one another and we don't talk about, you know, all those bad food choices we've made. We try to encourage one another to well, like everybody says, stay on the wagon. I guess I just call it making healthy choices. And, you know, I always say that if you're hungry and it's not time to eat your snack or your meal, occupy your mind with something else. Go out to your garden if you have a garden, water your flowers, sit down and read a book, get out of the house, call a friend, drink a glass of water. A lot of times your body's just calling for water and it's not hungry at all. It's thirsty. So I think all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, you really have incorporated a really healthy habit lifestyle. And I just love all the things that you're talking about. And what you're really saying is the support and the accountability from a community who's all doing the same journey is what really helped you the most.
Yes, and I love that everybody's across the United States and Canada. And I'd love to be able to get over to you and actually see you in person, but I don't know, it's a long ways from us in northern North Dakota.
Well, hopefully one day we are, you know, we really are looking forward to having some kind of a retreat where we can all get together. So I think my last question for you is, you know, what advice would you have for other people if they are feeling blah or dissatisfied with their life, if they're not happy and they don't love who they are right now, what advice would you have for them?
I would say give the WeighDown lifestyle a try, because you have nothing to lose. Well, you have lots to gain it, and lots of weight to lose. So and Ruth and Casey and all the others are awesome people, and they're not here to condemn, they're here to help us. And I think when we have help in the journey, it makes a big difference. And it's not only help making food choices, but it's spiritual help as well. And I think that's what's the difference between this plan is and other plans, is we have God in our journey. And I would never ever go back to any other WeighDown or any weight loss program that I've ever been on before. Pretty much it's only been Weight Watchers, because they never really taught you how to eat. They just went on a point system, but they really didn't teach you how to do anything more than lose the weight. And once you got done losing the weight and you quit going, what happened about a year, maybe a year and a half later, you start going back up. And I know I would probably gain 5 more pounds than what I had started out at. And so it wasn't a healthy way of living. Whereas this, I know I can live with the rest of my life with God in the journey. And I will stay accountable by enrolling year after year, just because I don't want that weight back, because the self-esteem that I've gained means more to me than the little bit of money it costs for a whole year.
Yeah. Thank you, Connie. That's just amazing. And I'm just thrilled for you, because I know you are a new person, and having lost 75 pounds, it is the new you. And
Yep.
so, yeah, it really is. You gain back the confidence, you love yourself again, and you're treating your body like a temple, not a trash can. And so I just want to thank you again for doing this interview with us. And we know that with God in the journey, it is possible to lose the weight like you did and to now maintain it, because Casey and I always say you only have to do this weight loss one time.
Yep.
And so you've done it, and now you're on the maintenance, and we know that you can do that with God in the journey. It is possible.
It is very possible. And thank you so much for this wonderful program.
Thank you.
Yep.
So before we end, Connie, I'm just going to say, do you have any last words for our listeners?
I do. My motto is nothing tastes as good as thin feels. And so you'll want to live this the rest of your life, because it's just so wonderful the way you feel when you get here.
Those are wonderful, wise words, words of wisdom. So with that, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for asking me.